Un día cuando me encuentres en tu cocina, sangrando, sabrás que yo te encontré, sangrando también. Y te olvidarás de mi cara, de mis celos.
We want a glass of water or something because there's probably everybody I've ever interviewed gets a little.
Okay, I'll go out and get that real quick.
Yeah, that'll save us.
Worked with a lot of venues, had a great time with all of them. But I've always loved going to cons. Me and my dad have gone to them since I was a teenager. Cons like Horrorfine, Chiller. Unfortunately, Horrorfine's no longer with us, but now, and you know, I've always thought they were really neat. Always loved meeting the celebrities from shows and movies that I loved. You know, doing these kind of pop culture events was, you know, being a fan of all of them. You know, being a fan of, you know, comic books and horror movies, and even shows like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and G.I. Joe and Transformers from when I was a kid. You know, it takes people back. You know, it takes me back to a better and simpler times. I guess it's just, I think that's what we all long for, because it just seems like, you know, the world is getting to be a pretty dark place, and, you know, and people are always looking for, you know, an escape, and people are looking for places to take their families that are, you know, that you know, they have fun and their kids have fun and they get to share, you know, their childhood memories with everybody. And I mean, and that was the experience I always got going to these things with my father. And, you know, I'm glad to see people are doing this today with their children.
My name is Alexandra Thomas. I'm 30 years old. I have 3 wonderful kids and an amazing husband who is very supportive of every crazy shenanigan I get into. I love being physically active and eating cupcakes. It's a big one. My hobbies include sewing, drawing, painting, just about anything artistic I love doing.
So what has been your favorite thing you've cosplayed so far?
This is probably it, my favorite cosplay so far. Mainly because I put so much time and effort into it.
Right.
Like literally blood, sweat, and tears into it.
Literally.
Literally.
And how long did it take you to make it?
Well, I worked on and off for maybe a good 2 months, and then the last month was nothing but panic and working on it every single day. So probably 3 months total to make it.
3 months. And on your table, which one was your most recent cosplay?
The most recent, aside from my Demon Hunter, is probably my Witch and my Supersonic Hunter. Well, when I was a child, I've always loved dressing up. I loved being something else, knowing that whenever I put it on, I could just conquer anything. I had a best friend, and we would always put on silly outfits and
go outside and pretend we were fighting the goblins or orcs. It was amazing, and that always stuck with me. Even now, I love putting on a costume I make and just being something else, being someone else, and just being able to, especially if it's an anime character or a character I really connect with, it just helps me understand them better. It helps me become them and really just come out of my shell, and I feel like I could do anything. But I always dressed up, and since then, just all the amazing cosplayers I saw and people I saw just inspired me to start making even better costumes and props that I've made before, and just push myself. I mean, it has been an amazing journey so far.
I wanted one earlier and I didn't go now. Triple trouble. I would say still come forward and
My name is Will Devlin. I live in Damascus, Maryland. Almost 40 years old, wife, one child. Right now I'm going through an injury that has set me back a little bit, a little knee injury, but hopefully that won't take too long to get better. Other than that, things, about me, I'm a huge Elvis fan, a huge sci-fi / superhero fan, and I think that's kind of why we're all here today. What is it that inspires me? I think it's changed over the years. When I was younger, it was just a need to be a little different than everybody else, and I always knew that I wasn't a cool kid and stuff like that, so I wanted to do things that I felt were cool, and then built on that, and it just became the artistic part of things, because growing up in elementary school in the 80s, Elvis wasn't really the cool thing to be into, but I embraced it. And then as I've gotten older, the comic aspect of things, I was a huge Ninja Turtle fan, and stayed one. Power Rangers fan, stayed one. Star Wars fan, stayed one of those, and it just kept building. So now I try to take that as inspiration for the artistic side of things, and that's why I have my Ninja Turtle cosplay and the Wolverine cosplay I'm working on and stuff like that. My first memory would have to be the first con we went to. It was actually a big one down in Washington, D.C. You hear about them, but until you've actually been to one, you don't really know what to expect. And I was actually very surprised by how many people were in cosplay. And it was just very exciting to be around. And I knew that I wanted to get into that and be a part of it at the next convention. So what I think about what has changed from the cons we used to go to, the ones we go to now, is definitely the bigger cons are more about getting the revenue in, putting on a grand production, which is good, but a lot of people can't afford to do that, and then they bring in guests that are expensive to come in contact with, and for an average family that's kind of hard to justify if you're living week to week like so many people do. But now, we go to these cons like the 4-State Con up in Waynesboro was my first small con, and the family atmosphere of it was overwhelming. And while I didn't go in cosplay to that one because I didn't know what to expect, we'll definitely be going to cosplay to the next one. And I think as a family, my wife and son and I, we go to these things together, and I think we had a more personal time at the smaller con than we did ever at the big one.
when I was a teenager, me and my dad started going to horror conventions. He's been going to them for years, and that's what kind of got me into all that. I mean, between horror and like baseball cards, sports card collectibles and whatnot, I come from a family of collectors, if you will. Family's all been into this kind of stuff a lot, and that's what got me into it, of course. But yeah, once, I mean, you know, and then managing my old band Pain, we had an idea. We were like, hey, you know, we went to the last horror find convention. We were like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we mixed a horror convention with like a rock and roll festival? You know, have like all horror themed punk bands and whatnot. And then 2014, in comes Halloween Fest, the first show I ever did at Cue Balls Cafe. You Easter Sunday fans know Cue Balls Cafe very well, actually, because that was the scene with Robert Zadar in Easter Sunday. So, like I said, the restaurant he was sitting in was Cue Balls, and we had a horror con there. Yeah, we had Santiago Cirillo from The Walking Dead. We had the Green Goblin Head from Maximum Overdrive. A lot of cool people. Warrington Gillette, who was the second Jason Voorhees, and Camille Keaton from I Spit on Your Grave. We had a really cool guest list. I mean, we didn't have a whole lot of people, but I mean, we didn't know what we were doing, really. I mean, when it came to promotion and really putting ourselves out there. So next year we tried another one. We branded it differently as the 4-State Slasher Con. Of course, that's where I met Mr. Delgado here, and we wound up doing the first screening ever of Easter Sunday, actually, and it got a great response, and I'm really proud of those guys to see how far they've come with that movie. Had another great show. Had some guests from Evil Dead, Creep Show 2. Lorraine Landon from Maniac Cop, of course. So it was a great little show. Unfortunately, again, did not make the money we were expecting. But and then, you know, fast forward a few months later, a friend of mine and I decided, hey, you know, there's this big skating rink right next door to his comic book store and video game shop, and we were like, hey, you know, why don't we try to do like something more all ages themed, like a comic book theme and whatnot, and with cosplay and things like that. And then we went with myself and a gentleman named Craig Bumball. Unfortunately, his shop's no longer in business, but we had a good run there. And he helped me with the original 4-State Retro Pop and Comic Con, which is where we're at today. We did 2 of those last year. Both of them averaged between 1,200 and 1,500 people, which is, you know, quadruple what we had at the first 2 horror shows, unfortunately. But we just learned that, you know, I mean, I think we have a great product here, and, you know, moving forward this year, we got a much bigger venue, and I think it's gonna turn out pretty well.
What you're doing?
Give Mark 2 and Ron 1. We can always switch them around. We can always get more. Yeah, we can always.
So, give me a little bit of what's going on today. What's running through your head?
Well, it's Friday, September 8th. We are setting up here for. I was gonna say this guy here photo bombing me, and that's Mr. Adam Schroyer. Yeah, we're everybody's running around, getting their booths set up, and getting prepared, ready for the big day tomorrow. And hopefully we can have a great show and do some cool stuff there. Like I said, we're gonna be here all weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So come on out. Like we got all this great space. I mean, it's a dream come true to have a venue this size. I mean, because we never thought we'd be here, you know, 3 years ago, but here we are.
Oh, you probably you would have graduated with any of my husband's family. Well, this table right here is where all the crazy brainstorming happens. I have my computer for easy access to look up ideas just for future cosplays, or if I just am missing that one detail and I'm not sure how to get it. It's there. I have my collection of ponies. I am obsessed with My Little Pony. I have some comics and magazines that I've been published in. But yeah, some of the stuff I work on, which I'm working on something now, is my Titan armor from Destiny. It's a bit of a challenge since I've never made anything like it, but I'm learning, so it's always a good thing. I have some of my paintings here. This is where I come and create a lot of my stuff. This is where I create my artwork, my armor. I'll cut my fabric on this table. It's been through a lot. When I come down here, it really is just
everything else disappears. I'm in my zone, and I create awesome things. Well, when I create, it's just this whole different world to me, and I don't know how to really explain it. When I'm really focused on something, everything else disappears, and I don't know how, but I just become so focused on what I need to do that I'm in the zone. I'm creating it, and I get it. I mean, I can usually get it done fairly quickly when I'm concentrating that much. You know, everyone is different. They do things differently. I usually put on music in the background. It helps me calm down and just work on my stuff. I usually bring down a bunch of snacks and just munch on them.
Do you get along in real life?
Whoa, I don't think so. I don't think so, but here we do.
We get along very well.
We get along very
In real life, no, not so much.
So how long have you guys been coming to conventions?
We've been coming for about a year.
You guys live close by?
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of conventions in the area? Because it's kind of a small town.
Yeah, it is. Around locally, but there are more the closer you get to bigger cities like DC, Harrisburg, Baltimore.
What other conventions have you guys been a part of or gone to?
We haven't been to many.
We've done this one. We did the Florida State Retro Pop and Comic Con, which was in the same location. This past April, we also did the Harrisburg convention as well. Next year, we're going to we have Otakon, Costume Con that we're going to. And obviously, if they do another one of these, then Spring will be here as well.
Cool. And do you guys, I mean, are you going to get into putting together more costumes for the future? Or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's always something in the process.
All right. Well, my name is Mark Thomas. First and foremost, I'm a father. I'm a husband. Pretty a giant geek at heart. Absolutely. I do marketing for a living. Well, I mean, my wife is a very talented individual. She was, that was one of the first things that actually attracted me to her in the first place. We got to talking, and she's just a very artistic person to begin with, very detail oriented, and very very good with her hands, as far as crafting goes. And when we actually first met, we actually were doing some live action role play type stuff together. Actually, it was like a medieval kind of Lord of the Rings reenactment type stuff, and we got into building armor and costumes for that. And then she just kind of got into into the cosplay world, which is great. It's something that makes her happy, even when she's stressed. Whenever a convention's right around the corner and she hasn't had a whole lot of time to do anything because of the kids or for whatever other reason. But she's super talented, and she's one of my clearly my favorite person in the world. But going to these conventions, and we used to go places, not in costume. We used to go just as just people going to attend a convention. And once she got into the cosplay, there's a change that I noticed, where when she puts on these costumes, she creates these characters, or she is cosplaying one of her favorite characters, whether it's an original or something that she's already, an existing character. When she gets into costume, it almost feels like that, something's lifted, and she's more outgoing. She's able to interact a little bit more, not quite as self-conscious, I guess. She's had a lot of positive reinforcement from the cosplay community. She's had a lot of positive reinforcement from the conventions. Again, going back into everyone being very welcoming, it's nice to get to spend time with people that are like-minded, and it definitely helps boost self-esteem, just the way you feel about yourself in general. And she's, because of these conventions, even outside of that, now when she's not in costume, she's a much more outgoing person. But I've loved her since day one, and I plan on loving her for the rest of my life. But you know, she's it makes her happy. It makes her really happy, and anything I can do to help support it, I do.
It's a good feeling. You know, it's undescribably a good feeling how it feels to be able to give back and have, especially the kids look up to you. I know we do a lot of stuff at the schools. To see the face of a child when, you know, Ghostbusters has been their thing, their favorite movie, and then they see a real Ghostbuster. It's a really cool feeling just to see them light up and come running at you and give you a hug. Super excited all the time.
Because to them, when they see us and they'll say, "Hey, look, Mom, it's a Ghostbuster," and it's just really neat to know that not only did we grow up with it, but there's an opportunity for this new generation to have grown up with it. And it's awesome that we get to do something that makes us happy and has such a positive impact on the community.
You can Google me.
What? Are you being bad? Alright, I'm coming.
No, she's not. He's not. She's not being bad. She's
being a kid.
She's being a kid, right? So what's the plan then tonight? What's I guess after party at the cantina?
Yeah,
right?
the cantina. Yep, and like I said, free of charge if you're in cosplay, or or if you're not in cosplay, it's like $5. It's pretty reasonable.
Big time reasonable.
Reasonable. So I said, so we're just like I said, we're all just winding down and doing our thing.
Feeling good, man?
Feeling pretty good. Yeah, feeling pretty good indeed. I
Man.
was gonna say, I'm pretty mellow, pretty calm. So
Man, you did a great job.
Thank you, buddy.
You did a good thing for the community, for the people here coming together. I'm
Absolutely.
proud of you,
And
bro.
I mean, hey, we still got tomorrow.
I'm fucking proud of you.
Thank you, buddy.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm proud of you too, man.
You've come a long way.
We've both come a long way in 3 years, haven't we? We've both come a long way in 3 years, haven't
buddy.
we?
Keep doing it, man.
I go by Cosplay on Words. It's a good pun. So I am a senior in high school and I've been cosplaying for about 2 years. I am the founder and co-president of Middletown High School's Cosplay Club. And I just really enjoy cosplaying. Whether like you buy costumes or you make costumes, it's still cosplay as long as you really enjoy the character. And you enjoy the con experience, that's really all that matters.
Truth is stranger than fiction, especially in these weird little small towns, because if you do wreck, you become roadkill. And you could be eaten or stuffed or taxidermied, just like in the movies.
Sure. I like your costume so much.
Can I get a quick little interview? Is that cool?
Sure. So this is obviously Wonder Woman. My name's Natalie. We've been doing it, my family and I have been doing it since 2010, I think. We started different costumes. We like to do it, all of us. My son's a little bit older, he doesn't do it anymore. Kind of slowed down the last few years, but since the local ones we like to go to just because we like to support the local artists and local conventions. We think it's great for this area. So there's something really nice about a smaller one, and this one's great. I mean, this is the first one that they've had here in Hagerstown. I think this is the third one that they've done, but this is the first one that's been in Hagerstown, and I really like the setup. I'm really happy with how this is. This is nice.
I love this kind of stuff. It just intrigues me. And my fiance actually made the mistake one night after we finished watching, I think it was The Empire Strikes Back, to say that she wanted an R2 unit to follow her around the house one day. So me being the nerd that I am, a light bulb went on, and then ironically 9 months later, I was proposing to her with an R2D2. So, by all means, he's a hero. I mean, he's the one that told everyone where Luke is, you know? But I think he's definitely the hero because he gives kids hope. Makes them happy, and I think that's what real heroes do. They are able to make people feel that happiness. So personally, he is the hero. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even be here, honestly.
The one thing I wasn't expecting is how happy it made me when I see the kids interact with it. The kids absolutely love it. the coolest thing to watch kids actually be so in control of the robot that I built. So that's always nice.
Go say hi to Michelangelo. Hi. You want to get a picture with him? You want to get a picture with him? Thank you. That was hilarious. Yeah. Like, I'm going to take another bit. Oh, you blew my kiss. You're so cute. Corbin, put your sister down. She's not a talker. Like, come here, look at Daddy's phone there.
Shop for stuff, and probably gonna put on my armor here soon. But I'm in the Mandalorian merch costume club, and we just dress up like Mandalorians, and we go around to cons for fun, or we do a lot of charity events, stuff for kids, all kinds of things. So it's a lot of fun. Either way, it's just fun to pretend, like I'm someone else or something else, depending on what the costume is, I guess. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. It'd be awesome to live in that universe. So if I did live in the universe, I'd probably want to be a bounty hunter, or a Mandalorian at the very least. So just feels cool when you're in a costume. You can embrace what you love.
I make my armor, my costumes, my props, and I do my makeup. Most of what you're seeing here is made out of EVA foam, it's basically, if you've ever worked with craft foam, it's the same thing. It's a closed cell foam, which you can manipulate with heat and seal it and clean it out to make it look like leather or wood or, aged metal. Which is really, really fun. I love kind of tricking the eye with the paint finishes to make people think it's another material than it's actually.
It definitely looks metallic right here.
Thank you.
So how long have you been doing this?
I've been cosplaying for about 4 to 5 years, but I've been an artist my whole life. I was the kid who doodled in the margins of my notebook when I should have been paying attention in class. But I've been doing specifically costuming for about 4 years. Mostly self-taught. I looked up, tutorials on YouTube and asked other creatives how they made things. So there's a lot of mistakes along the way, but I've learned a lot. So it's been fun to be able to travel kind of outside of what I'm used to and meet people to talk about how I create things and why cosplay is important.
And what's the difference between a large convention and something smaller like this?
Okay, so that's a great question. Actually, I don't get asked that a lot. I love both. I love both kinds of conventions. About 10 years ago-ish, I think the only kinds of convention that you could find were in the larger capacity. They were usually in only the large cities. And since we've seen more things that were geek culture become mainstream, like comic movies and such, there's been this great demand for people who love this kind of community to come together. So we're seeing more and more smaller cons. For example, this, which is, more community-based. And the reason I love smaller to medium cons is because you get to meet people from your own backyard who love the same things you do. It's cost effective, so you have families who, they themselves and maybe their children love comics or love these movies, but they couldn't afford to, say, go to one of these huge cons. They just couldn't afford, the airfare or the travel. But to have one in their own community is fantastic. They can bring the kids. It's smaller, so it's a little less overwhelming. And maybe if it's your first con that you've ever been to. I've met a lot of people here today that said this is their very first time that they've ever been to a con. This is the very first time they've ever put on a costume and cosplay. So that's really exciting to see. And I I love it because the interaction's a little bit better. Sometimes at larger conventions, you have to wait in line for a really long time to interact with celebrities, and that's not a bad thing, but it's just the reality of cons that size. So something a little bit smaller allows for you to have more personal and more intimate engagement with, the artists that drew things that you grew up loving, and the movies and TV shows that you grew up watching, that you can actually have a conversation with them. It's not just a handshake and move on. And that's something that smaller cons specifically can do and add to the community.
What would you say, how do you feel that people look up to you like you're a hero? And what do you think makes a hero, makes a person a hero?
That's a good question. I don't know that I look at myself as a hero. I look up to a lot of people in this community who I would consider heroes. I think it's how you treat people, and kindness matters, I think, and passing along knowledge matters. So one of the first characters that I've ever cosplayed that was a larger armor build is Captain America. And the reason I really love Captain America is because he, like me, was a scrawny, shy art kid. He was an architect, art and architecture, Steve Rogers. And what's cool about him is he was a hero before he got the super serum and became really strong. So it wasn't the muscles or the costume that makes Steve Captain America. It's who he is in here. And I think we all need to remember that like underneath these costumes, we can all choose to be a hero.
What drew me to all these characters? I mean, growing up in the '80s, I mean, it was probably one of the greatest times of cartoons ever. I mean, let's be realistic here. You had Transformers, you had G.I. Joe, you had even like the B cartoons, like, I mean, even the ones that are like more cult, like Mask and whatnot. Now, I mean, they were all great stuff. I mean, they were well written. They had great voice actors. Plus when I was a kid, you had the Effects Channel, which had the old stuff, the '60s stuff, like the Batman TV show with Adam West. You had the Green Hornet. I mean, it was just, I mean, they were there. I mean, you had a wide palette of things that really, expanded your horizons, during that time. I always thought. I mean, it was really, I can always say it, but I thought it was a great time to be alive. I mean, it was before, television got, so streamlined or whatever. I mean, and you had, I mean, of course, even far from the cartoons, you had The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, you had Saved by the Bell, you had Boy Meets World, great TV shows. I mean, they still hold up to this day, even when you watch them now. I mean, they're not, dated or whatever. I mean, I even enjoyed, the old stuff like Jem and the Holograms, even though, technically everybody considered that a girl's cartoon. It's still fun to watch, I mean, it's... You can't. I was gonna say. I mean, you can't beat those old shows. I don't think. And I mean, that's what. I mean, it was great to come home every day and see that. And especially if you were a kid like me that wasn't the most popular. Wasn't the. I mean, I wasn't the most athletic. I wasn't the best looking. I'm still not. But at the same time, it's. It's the same time. It's like you could come home and you could relate to these people, and it would make you feel better. And you knew that one day. That one day that hopefully you could wind up like one of your favorite superheroes. And the fact that I get to bring people that kind of joy through my conventions is something that you can't put a price on.
You remember Easter Sunday? I like Easter Sunday.
Thank you.
God, you don't know who I am, does he?
Well, yes. Santiago Cirillo.
Hey, I watch his stuff. I promote his stuff. Man, fantastic job,
I didn't know
brother.
you were here, dude.
Hey, are we rolling?
Yeah, we're rolling.
Fantastic job, brother. Thank you so much, Santiago. This guy's been with me since the beginning when we did the Cue Balls convention where we shot Easter Sunday with Robert. Or you guys shot Easter Sunday with Robert Starr in that bar, Cue Ball. Yeah. That was a fun time, man. This guy's always a pleasure to have, man. Any convention. He's always a blast. Everybody
He's going
loves
to be on Nashville next season.
Yeah, season 5 Nashville.
That's the only reason I'm going to watch that.
Check it out. And in Inuadi, we got
Guinness Book of World Records involved, more music come out, but it's going to be the #1 horror film next year, I guarantee you that. Matt? Hi-ya!
Just because I wanted to interrupt.
Yay! Bro, I really thank you. God bless you, your family, your friends, your network.
Have a safe trip home.
Always. Gotta support this man. He's doing right. Independent, small businesses need to continue to fight, and get that job done, man. That's how it all started, right?
Absolutely,
God bless
my friend.
you, man.
Thank you,
Merry
sir.
Christmas, you guys.
Safe trip home.
Hey, man. Much success. You're a phenomenal filmmaker. Just keep doing it. They don't want to doing it, bro. And every life counts, man. Live life, follow your dreams. The best thing about being bullied when I was a kid, I grew, I succeeded, and I beat them doors down. And now I just pass that word on that everybody in this world, man, live life, enjoy it, and just, man, keep the hate out, right?
It's a powerful message, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hate out. It's a powerful message.
Heck yeah. What's up, bro?
To me, growing up, I had a couple of heroes. Bruce Lee was a huge hero of mine from a very early age, and he was someone who I always read his teachings and tried to be more like as far as my martial arts went. And obviously, Elvis Presley was another one of my heroes. I mean, the guy wore a jumpsuit, he had a cape, and he could fly around on his own airplane. He didn't become much more of a hero than that.
How important is it for us to continue the work of those kinds of heroes and bring that same passion and joy to others that we experience?
I think it's very important for us to continue to try and strive for that position in life where you can inspire someone else as your hero inspired you.
It's like, out to a movie! That okay with you? Thank you. That's alright. That's alright. Thank you. Oh, I got it.
I think that people who can find that inside themselves, it can be seen before they even speak a word, and just the way they carry themselves, the way their expression is on their face. They may not even know they're doing it, but others can see it and simply be inspired by that. And it's because they found something in themselves that they want to push and that they feel is important, not only to themselves, but to everybody. And I think everybody needs a hero. Everybody needs that person to look forward to and someone to strive to be like. You know, not exactly, but somebody who epitomizes what they feel is a moral compass that they believe in, whether that be a comic book superhero like Superman, you know, for truth, justice, and the American way, or whether it's the fireman that's racing to a fire to save people's lives. Having that hero is something everybody needs and should find. Small town America. I grew up in extreme small town America for quite a long time. I lived in a town called Elkton, Tennessee. Elkton, Tennessee didn't even have a traffic light. The main part of town was the gas station and mini mart. That was about it in our town. The importance of small town to me is to remind us that not everybody lives in the city. Not everybody can get to a huge convention center without driving hundreds of miles. Small town America represents a large population of the country who doesn't live in the city center, but has the same desires, the same interests, the same dreams that somebody who lives in downtown, Manhattan has. They want to see their heroes. They want to experience seeing people that they've grown up with. They want to meet people with a similar interest. They want to express their creative outlet, just like anybody. Getting back on my feet, getting out of this brace, and being able to walk somewhat normal again is what's driving me to keep going. And the thought of getting back into any of my cosplays at this point is a drive that I feel inside every day when I walk. I was on crutches, 2 crutches up until 2 days ago. Now I'm down to 1 crutch. Start physical therapy tomorrow, so hopefully in September I will be able to walk into the convention without the brace, unassisted, in full cosplay, ready to enjoy.
Sorry.
Okay.
Right now she's just trying to figure out who she is. She's been in a bunker for about 10 years. Trying to be a hero, not so much a villain anymore. I've been doing cosplays, I think this is year 5. So I started out as Lady Thor, just dressing up as Thor. I build all my own costumes, except for spandex, because I really hate building it and sewing it. It's the devil, I'm convinced. And then I do events like this, and I also do work with a charity group called the CPA Avengers, Central PA Avengers, and we go to hospitals, we help raise money, and do all those fun things using our cosplay powers for our real. No? Well, this is Johnny B. We're usually seen together. Usually our other partner Sharon knows is with us. He's been cosplaying. This is year 2. Yes, year 2 for him. So he usually does Deadpool, but today he's going to be Spider-Man.
Spider-Man's a little bit more acceptable, I guess, pop culture. Deadpool might be, maybe not in cosplay, but I certainly wouldn't let my 5-year-old watch the Deadpool movie.
I completely agree with that.
But, what do you enjoy most about being a cosplayer?
I enjoy, there are 2 things I really enjoy. I love building the costumes. I see it as a walking, breathing work of art. So, I have a degree in art, I teach art. So, I was trying to find a way to make me happy with what I was doing, and cosplay ended up being that for me. So I can walk, not only create the character, but be the character. And then the other thing is interacting with the kids. Like when you see them, their eyes light up, and they're convinced that he's the real Spider-Man, or I might be so far, I might be Thor. Cosplay is just wonderful. The kids don't see you, they see the character. That's my favorite.
My name is Donnie Drum. I'm Donnie Drum from Where the Backwoods. I'm a prop maker, costumer, mask maker, and makeup effects artist. I paint hair, sell some props, some masks, some costumes, get some word out about my work.
And you made all these yourself?
Majority of it done by hand from scratch. Some of it I've actually bought some blanks and redid them. Like this best example here, this is actually, guy actually bought the silicone and got the screen used mask from Part 8 and bought this as a blank. Did the finished work, screened out the eyes as you can see, and then added the straps. But like I said, that's just a really faint example, but other than that, a lot of it, like I said, done by hand, majority of it from scratch.
And how did you learn how to do this?
Some of it was self-taught, and then I actually went to a flight school outside of Pittsburgh a couple years ago. Whatever I can get my hands on, I'll do. But first convention I ever did was SlasherCon. Second convention was the first Retro Poppin', and now I'm here. That's a sort of home feeling to them, sort of hospitality, warm feeling. Whenever you get into your bigger conventions, it kind of gets that whole hold on a second. Trying to get into it, trying to put it nicely. I'm not sort of like a robotic sense or trying to hustle and bustle with it, but, and not to mention that when it comes to your bigger conventions, it's always more expensive there. I mean, the one convention I was looking at a while back here, $200 for this size of a table. There's no way you can make money from there.
And what would you say to somebody that wants to pursue their dreams and is stuck at a crappy job? And how are you able to do something like this and still be able to support yourself?
Work hard, think about what you want, think about your goal, push hard, pursue. I will tell you, it's gonna suck, but you gotta just pursue it, man. You just gotta think about that goal, think about how to reach that goal, especially. Set like mini goals in between the big ones, like think about your short term, think about your long term goals, and just build yourself a
Yeah, my name is Michael Copon. I'm an actor, singer, songwriter, and also a movie producer. I started off as a Power Ranger on Power Rangers Time Force as the Blue Power Ranger, Lucas Kendall. I always tell people that was my first audition. I got lucky and got on. But after that, I had 4.5 years of 1,482 auditions where I heard the word no until I got on this show, One Tree Hill. One Tree Hill took my career to the next level. From there, it sprung out numerous movies and shows. Like I did Beyond the Break, I did Bring It On. You'll see a picture of that. That's So Raven. That's The Boys in Motion. And then Scorpion King as well, that I did with Randy Couture. So from there, in 2008, I got into music production and movie production. 2012, I moved home to open up a movie studio. Wrote, directed, produced a few films. I got Worth the Price, that's on Amazon right now. Killer Holiday, that's on Chiller. We also have a film or a TV show called Dystopia that we're still trying to get sold out there. And now this year, I just sprung back into the acting full time, and that's where I'm at right now.
What's the difference in doing like the bigger conventions and the smaller conventions?
See, the bigger conventions you can get kind of lost. For instance, I had a great example. I was in Colorado 2 weeks ago, and I think about 40,000 people. Now, Michael Rooker's there, a bunch of other big stars are there. So sometimes people who have a unique cult following can get lost in what's in the new hype. So I don't always get to meet my fans like I do at small cons. Small cons can be more intimate because you get to spend time with your fans, get to know them more. It feels like you're kind of like in a home environment, which is kind of cool. So snap to the next week after Colorado, I'm at a very small con, I think 500 in attendance, but there was just Power Ranger fans. That's awesome. See what I'm saying? So we had time to sit with our people, and I did actually better at that con in terms of sales versus the bigger con, and I got to spend more time with my fans. So I think the smaller cons sometimes make it more intimate. So I think in any organization, small groups really work. You know, whether you're even when I played football growing up, we would break up into small groups, and the linemen would work with the linemen and the quarterbacks. And that way you can focus on certain things. Like churches have small groups. A lot of things have small groups. So I think even when cons get too big, I think it's good sometimes to even break it apart, and make it small again to then build again. So.
How do you feel when people look up to you like you're a hero? You know, not just because of the Power Ranger stuff and the the acting, but following your passions, continuing on with the filmmaking career.
Yeah. I mean, that's really cool because I was a fan first of Steve, and like he was kind of like a hero to me because I was a Mighty Morphin fan, and other wrestlers that I get to meet nowadays are like heroes to me. So being looked at as a hero is pretty cool, and I just try to keep that same energy moving forward and being motivational and telling people never give up, because really that's what it's about. I tell people I almost gave up even before One Tree Hill, but it's the process of just continuing to push forward, because most people will give up and then your position will be right there. Being a hero in life, I think it's great. You know, kids look up to me a certain type of way, and I think it keeps me accountable for myself, for my own actions, like what I post on social media, how I present myself to the world and stuff like that. So it's kind of a cool thing that's unexpected, because my fans keep me accountable for myself.
Gives that bokeh effect with the background all blurry and her perfectly in detail.
You look gorgeous on camera.
She's pretty, isn't she?
You look gorgeous in real life.
Yeah.
You also look gorgeous on camera. That's why I don't go on camera. Thank you. No, I just get awkward on camera. I understand. That's like, part of the other reason. I like picking my nose.
You're fine. I promise to edit all the boogers.
Alright, awesome.
You'll be straight. So the culmination of the weekend, how was everything?
Epic. It was really epic. Being a part of the contest was really amazing. And I mean, getting to talk to friends and meeting new people and becoming friends, just getting to see all the amazing, talented people, it's been really great. I love it. I wish we could do this every weekend.
That's awesome. Cool. So then, back to the drawing board for the next time. Are you already having thoughts of something that you're going to work on?
The next thought is bed. Fortunately and unfortunately, I have a ton of cosplays in mind for the next conventions I go to, and I even have surprise ones that I'm working on, so still gonna be busy, but with winter coming up, I'm gonna try and slow down a bit. Like this last build, I kind of strung myself out a bit. So.
You feel like you kind of defeated a little bit of that anxiety this weekend, and
yeah, I think I got a lot of unexpected reactions with my cosplay, and it was really nice. I didn't know if it was going to take so well, if people were going to like it, or if they're going to get it, but a lot of people did, and it was really great. But yeah, it's also helped me slowly come out more out of my shell and be goofy, be my weird self that my friends know me for and love me, I think. Right? You love me? Okay, yeah.
Cool.
I feel a small town needs a taste of the big city life. These things are big in a lot of different worlds and whatnot. So and a lot of people don't get to have them out here. So a lot of people out here can't get to them due to economic reasons or whatever. So we decided, why not bring them out here? Why not bring them out here? There's a lot difficult. It's a lot of work. I love making other people happy. I love making myself happy. It's a great time. So. Gene Snitsky.
Winter PopCon, baby. Best con going. If you're in the area, I don't know why you didn't stop by. But you know what, Matt? It's not.
It's not his fault. It's never his fault. Hope for the best, prepare for the worst. And every show is different. You can't judge one show. You can't judge sales of one show for another show, and vice versa, and all that good stuff. So.
One thing that is a concern of mine, and it shouldn't be a concern for very long, and this is why I work a real job and everything like that, is Four State is basically my idea. I'm pretty much the main guy behind it, especially financially. Hopefully going to be getting some backers by 2018 or whatever to help me keep it going. But that's why we've had to cut some of the guests. I mean because there's been a couple times I've gone overboard with the guests and things like that, and that's why I said I cannot stress enough. You got to know your boundaries, because these things will land you in debt very quickly. I mean, you will have to find ways to pay these people, because there's contracts and these people have lawyers. I mean, you have to make sure that these people are satisfied. So I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if you wanna do this, you got to take the bad and the good. I mean, Four State's never been about the money. This is my passion. This is my dream. And I'm going to pursue it as long as I possibly can until I'm physically or economically unable to do it. I'm here for all you guys. I'm here for myself. I mean, this is it right here. I mean, we got 4 states, and I'm hoping to unite. I just want to unite them all under my roof. So, I mean, like I said, it's not about the money, but at the same time, I just don't want anybody to think that I'm getting rich off this thing, because I'm not. I'm not walking out of here with garbage bags full of money, I assure you. But it's not about the money. Like I said, it's about myself, and it's about you all having a great time.
All right. Let's take a stroll, shall we? No, I'm not. Jacinta really needs them.
My name is Scott Hewitt from Scott's Variety Shop. I've probably been doing this about 3 years. This will be my 3rd or 4th year, somewhere around there. The thing that's great about these shows is that everybody is in this together. The show doesn't work as well without the cosplayers. It doesn't work as well without the guests. And the vendors need to interact with the people to be able to bring it all together to make one great show.
Right.
The smaller con is great for a more personal atmosphere. The stars at a smaller con are a little bit better, just because you can have more personal contact.
Getting crowded in here.
Thanks everybody for coming.
How much? I feel like somebody's following me, but I'm not quite sure.
I'm good. I'm playing with my toy. This is a Blackmagic Cinema camera. It is.
I'm not entirely sure what that means technically, but it sounds pretty spectacular.
It means that it costs a lot of money.
Got you. It's a very expensive toy.
Yes, definitely that. So, who are you dressed up as today?
Today I am Melisandre from Game of Thrones, inspired by all the costuming on the show, but it's a little bit of I think my favorite part is this necklace, and I made it out of Terraflex, which is a purple plastic, and I have to give credit to my friend Erin from Wasteland Productions, who helped me do all the LED work to make this light effect happen, which is really magical. So I really love working with people to do lighting and things like that I have not yet mastered, and just work with other friends who are talented in other ways. It's cool. It's cool what you can make with friends and skilled people when you come together to share each other's talents. So,
What are you looking, forward to today compared to yesterday? Day 2, the winding down a little bit.
I was on the dawn of the second day. So usually the second day of a con is a little more relaxed, I think. Usually Saturday is almost always the busiest day of the convention. So day 2 is a little more relaxed. People don't feel so stressed. People are finally used to the layout of the convention. Day 2 is a really great day to converse with the techies. We had a panel today. We talked about the fact that it's not just about me, it's about everyone and it's
Yep, you're good. All right, so we're here for State. It's Saturday. Lions are out the door. This has been a production in and of itself, just getting set up. Today, just a lot of little things that come up, and that's kind of what we do here. I got asked to help out with security, so I'm doing that. And going to be, I guess, hanging out, checking weapons here over at the table. From there, in a couple hours, I'm going to change over, get into my Ninja Turtle cosplay, and we're going to hit the floor. It's been a good time so far. It's great. We're up here in Hagerstown, Maryland. It's a beautiful area, and it's just exciting. Everybody here has been so happy and very excited to be a part of this.
As far as how long it took me to find out or figure out who I wanted to cosplay first, I always wanted to have a Ninja Turtle suit from the movies. So when the opportunity came up that I could have a suit that was extremely similar to that, I jumped on it. And I met a guy who's a prop designer, and we worked together to bring the suit to life. And now I have, like I said, the Michelangelo and the Donatello that I can cosplay as. And it just depends on the event. We go to children's hospitals, children's cancer treatment centers, and just try to give the kids something positive in their day to keep them motivated too.
Well, being a hero is kind of a term that I don't really use very often, but the line of work I do, law enforcement, they consider that a job that requires some heroism. But I try to parlay that into the cosplay, and like we mentioned before, visiting the children in the hospitals. And I think there's an image as not just law enforcement or cosplay, but as a person to make other people's lives better. And if you can do that either with your work, with your hobby, like cosplay, working at Comic-Con like today for security, doing any of that kind of stuff, as long as you're doing something each day, trying to make somebody else's life better, you're on the right track.
Ninja Turtles have always been a big part of my life growing up. They were the ultimate not being a bully type stuff, not dealing with bullies growing up, and they helped me through my life. And that they just kick ass also. Big conventions are more corporate, more all about the money, where here it's more about the social aspect of it. You know, who you know, get to know, make friends, be more yourself here, where not everybody's here to make a dollar. Everybody's here for the love of the industry.
We gotta find Donatello. Oh, sorry.
Ooh, Black Widow.
Where's Donatello? You want to take a picture with them?
I just gotta find where your camera is. That's fine.
Sorry, guys.
In my experience, the cosplay community is pretty tight-knit, and when you come into a group of cosplayers that are like-minded, that appreciate what each other does, it's a family feeling, if that makes sense. You can count on those people. They can, like I said, you know, since I'm injured, I can call one of them up and say, hey, you know, I'm not able to do this right now. Do you think you or one of the other people might be able to step in and fill that gap that I can't fill at the moment? And it's a good feeling to know that you have people you can count on. To me, it's extremely important to have a cause or something else other than your 9-to-5 job. There was, you know, times in history where that creative outlet was, you know, everybody had it. Everybody strove for something. And now, you know, life is so busy, it's hard for people to find the time or the energy to put themselves into a cause. But as people, as a society, I think we're healthier when we have something other than that 9 to 5, go to work, get paid, come home, eat and go to bed. If you have that cause, it gives you something else inside that you can push for. To me, being a hero means you are an ordinary person that has done something not so ordinary. It could be something as simple as donating blood. It could be something as simple as a child fighting cancer who is younger than any of us but has more strength and will than anybody you've ever met. You know, the definition of a hero is so varied, but to me it's just something that an ordinary person does that's not so ordinary. And that can be a cosplayer getting fully dressed up, sweating, being in pain because a lot of these costumes are very uncomfortable, and going out just to make people happy. I think it's very important for us as people and as a society to have heroes or people to look up to. If you don't, life just gets very mundane and you can be stuck and you don't have that motivation or that drive to push yourself.
Oh, my heart is heavy, and my mind sings low. I just wanna go, and it all seems funny, just how fast it goes. My body's so. Could you please tell me how do we get back to the way things were? Where things were, where things were. When I used to smile, yeah, and I did not have to try so hard for your love. Where things were.
Grab another one. Grab them two right here.
Back when they were, if they ever were.
On my phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, come on. Follow me.
What happened? Got my other head?
All right.
Yeah, go grab the other head.
You get a drink? A
Nope.
towel?
Time to switch heads.
Cool. How was that, man? How do you feel?
Hot, tired, but that was awesome.
I like your costume.
Thanks. It's a lot of fun. It's hard to see though. See that little slit right under the eyes? That's all you see through. See it there. That's it. It's hard to breathe in there too.
Which one's your favorite turtle?
Michelangelo. Yeah. Mikey's the party guy, you know.
Donatello.
You like Donatello? Well, then you're gonna like the next head that comes out.
So, how do you feel, man? Like everybody that you saw, everybody was screaming your name, you know, saying.
It makes me feel good as a person, but you know, the characters are just timeless, and the fact that the parents dig it even more than the kids is just the coolest thing ever. But when the little kids look at you and they think you're the real deal, it's priceless.
That's awesome, man. You're doing a great job. I love it.
Appreciate it.
Just do your thing.
Appreciate it.
Go.
He's right there. He just turned the corner.
Whew. See all the sweat in that thing? It's dripping. I have to put a towel over there. At least the feet,
How often do you have to come in with days?
depends on how long.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, some of it, like, awesome
It's kind of a
time.
hot day today inside.
Yeah.
And then
We've done events
afterwards.
outside.
Oh yeah.
Torture.
Forget it.
And there's no air coming through the head at all.
Oh my god.
We have to like Clorox all this stuff when we get home,
Yeah.
and the suit weighs 100 pounds. It's disgusting.
By the time I'm done with it.
Yeah.
Sweat.
Yeah. 100 pounds. Oh. Not really. Just leave it to wipe it down. Right?
Wipe it down with like Clorox wipes. I use baby shampoo and water and
Yeah,
rinse it down in the shower so it doesn't smell horrible.
It's gentle enough, but it has pH balance. Yes.
Or at least get your feet off.
Yeah. Let's move our hands.
Daddy.
So how did it feel to be out there, man?
Good, man. I mean, even the second time around is Donnie. Again, I think the parents love it just as much as the kids do.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it brings back their childhood. You know, like a lot of the guests that come here. It's more for the parents than it is for the kids half the time. You know, and then the parents introduce those shows and stuff to their kids, and the cycle continues, and everybody's happy.
And how did it feel, you know, getting back on your feet after that knee surgery and being able to, you know, twice walk around there with the...
That was hard, not being able to do anything for 3 months, basically, and missing out on some things, like visiting some kids and stuff like that, that I would have loved to have done. I can't speak English right now. That I would love to have done, but just couldn't get in the suit because of the brace, and couldn't bend my knee, but being out there is just awesome. It's fantastic.
That's great, man.
It's a good time.
And the wifey, you know, I mean, tell me, that was a lot of hard work for you. You're out there kind of,
Yes.
you know, making sure that his path is clear, making sure he doesn't bump into anything and fall, and, you know, helping him with the suit. You know, it's I mean, definitely I see it's a team effort.
Oh,
right?
it is absolutely a team effort, and you got to make sure that the suit's not falling off, and definitely the safety is the biggest thing, because I don't want him to bump into anybody or him to trip and fall, because his vision's very limited. And then hydrating afterwards is the other safety. He oftentimes gets a headache afterwards because he's dehydrated. But it's worth it. See all those little happy faces and big happy faces. It's
And the
worth
ones
it.
that are nervous to begin with,
Yes.
and then open up. That's awesome.
Yeah, people shouting at you
Yep.
from across the hall, you know. You don't see a lot of people get that kind of reaction.
Well, these characters are so well known, and the suit was so well made by the designer that people just get drawn to it. And when you've watched the movies from the 90s, I mean,
It's pretty accurate.
and I think people prefer those movies still to the ones that were just released the last couple of years, just because it was actual practical effects instead of all CGI and stuff like that, which they kind of got away from nowadays.
I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
I'm all about practical effects and,
Yes.
you know, getting things done by hand just looks to me more authentic, more realistic.
Cool. Well, how do you feel that was the culmination of a lot of hard work, you know?
It was. I'm tickled and excited with how well everything turned out.
Yeah, a
today.
lot of people turned out.
I mean, the crowd's been fantastic.
Yeah.
The guests are all wonderful. You know, we're sitting here changing in front of Frida Repulsa from the Power Rangers.
Doesn't get better than that.
You know, I might be half naked here in a second, and it doesn't matter.
Awesome.
What I think about what has changed from the cons we used to go to, the ones we go to now, is definitely the bigger cons are more about getting the revenue in, putting on a grand production, which is good, But a lot of people can't afford to do that, and then they bring in guests that are expensive to come in contact with, and for an average family, that's kind of hard to justify if you're living week to week like so many people do. But now, you know, we go to these cons like the 4-State Con up in Waynesboro was my first small con, and the family atmosphere of it was overwhelming. When you go into a con in that suit, the persona just kind of takes over. And it's like that with anybody in cosplay. You know, it's not just you walking around in a costume, you're kind of embracing that character, trying to bring that character to life. And then the people that see you and talk to you, it's almost believable for them. And that's the best part of it, you know, especially when it comes to the children and stuff like that. When a kid comes up to me and I'm dressed as a Ninja Turtle and their eyes are lit up like they're seeing their favorite thing in the world for the first time, you can't help but smile. And even though they can't see your face behind the mask, your body can show it, and they get even more excited with the excitement that you're showing towards them. There's some major differences when you go to a small convention compared to the larger conventions. The larger conventions are a bit more difficult to maneuver around in as a basic characteristic. There's so many people, which is obviously good for them, and that's what they want. But it's hard when you're, for me anyway, when I'm in cosplay, to even get through a crowd. And while the attention is fun, it can be overwhelming at times when you can't go 2 steps without 30 people gathering around you wanting a picture, and you're inside of a suit sweating more than you've sweat in your life. And now the smaller cons, while the people still want their pictures taken with you and all that kind of stuff, it seems to me that I've noticed the people are more genuine, and they care more about the little parts and the little aspects of what you're doing. They don't just see you as, hey, there's somebody to take a picture with. You know, they want to talk to you a little bit, ask you some questions about it. It's a little more endearing to the artistic side of things when people appreciate what you're doing as a whole and not just the picture of somebody walking down the hallway. As far as the future comes, as far as the future goes, as to what I see coming, I see more, obviously more finances are going to come out, more time away from the family potentially, because a lot of the things that I do I have to go on my own, because you know, my wife has a job, my son has activities that he needs to attend, but they understand and they support everything that I've been doing so far, and I don't see that changing.
My name is Jeremy Palco. I play Andy in The Walking Dead. Hold on. There you go. This is Daniel Newman. Yeah. Sorry, don't speak. He plays Daniel in The Walking Dead. He's part of the Kingdom. Just came out. Next question.
Okay, so how do you feel about these, conventions? Well, why do you enjoy going to them?
On a personal note, I love going to conventions because it makes it real. Because The Walking Dead is such a great show. I'm going to take a glass off now from here. It's such a great show, and just to meet people, because I was a fan of the show before I got on it, to meet people who are actually still fans of the show is absolutely incredible.
I love the fact that it's massive worldwide. So everywhere you go, you meet people, and they're like, "This is bringing our family together." We don't even talk to each other, and then on Sunday nights, we all get together to watch a show. So that was kind of the coolest thing to hear.
But man, once you get on The Walking Dead, it's just such a different fan base. Like he's right. Like people like they have like communities that come together on Sunday nights. Like this roller rink here. I mean, we're doing a Comic-Con here, but like places like this will close down on Sunday night to project The Walking Dead, and people follow it. And Twitter followers, I love all you guys and girls. But man, you guys are crazy, and I love it. Like, I love checking my Twitter every single day because Walking Dead fans are fanatics, and I am too. So it's fun.
I think something like this is really cool to see all the vendors. The vendors are just like local mom and pop shops and a community. You know, it's definitely a lot more of a community feel. So it's pretty amazing to see what they do and all the crafts and things they do, cosplays.
I'll say, like, I've been doing cons for about a year now, and I think most actors can say this. There's very few that do it for the money. There's very few that go, oh, I need to do cons because I need money. It's literally just a great way to just enjoy the weekend, have fun, meet people, meet other actors. I mean, like, we're actors, but we're fans too. You know, we met, people from Harry Potter over there, and one of my favorites, Varsity Blues, Thomas Duff. We had a nice conversation with him. Like, we do these because it's fun. It's a great way to meet people. In between the big ones and the small ones, I mean, yeah, the big ones, yeah, the crowds are, I feel bad for the fans that show up because the crowds at the larger ones are just jam-packed. There's a lot of complaining because, they wait 6 hours to meet their favorite actor. Or, they don't get that one-on-one conversation, The smaller ones, you're really going to meet people. You really get to talk to someone, it's intimate. If you're in a bigger con, it's more of a say hi, take a picture, whatever, and move on. And that's all they get. They get a photo or a signed autograph, and they move on. But the smaller ones, you really get to talk to people. And that's as cheesy as it sounds, man. It's not about the money. It's really about meeting people. So I enjoy that part of it. So.
Not alone, and you're allowed to love your body where it's at. You're allowed to create and wear art on your body no matter what it looks like, and embrace that. Like all women are real women. All sizes and shapes are real women. And in cosplay, we're making costumes for these characters that 9 times out of 10 they started or even still only exist as drawn characters, right? Like, I'm an artist myself, so drawing is. It's just a representation of a character idea. But most of the time, when you look at these drawn images, they're kind of this idealized version of the human body. That no one actually looks like that. Literally, sometimes the ribcage ratio, that woman literally could not actually look like the way she's actually literally drawn. And so why are we trying to hold ourselves to that standard? When the Hollywood actors and actresses who are cast don't always look exactly like how they're drawn in the comics, and that's okay. So why are we beating ourselves up that we have to? We're only allowed to participate in this love of art and creativity and costuming.
If we look a certain way,
right? But really, it's for everyone. Try to boil it down to just there's only one idealized look of beauty, right, or strength, and it's just false. It's just absolutely false. So I don't know. I just want to encourage people it's not going to always be easy. But if you want to do it, do it. And don't let anybody steal your joy. Don't let anybody steal your joy and keep it going. It's just important to know that for yourself. So I hope to encourage people in that. I didn't get here, in 24 hours. I didn't just wake up one day with all this confidence. It's been a journey, and it's still an ongoing journey. But I hope to encourage others with it. That's the truth. I hope to encourage others.
Full state of panic is the best way to describe it. My husband has helped me a lot with it. We had these massive wings planned, 8 feet wingspan, and they just ended up being way too heavy for the frame I had, so I couldn't bring them today. But I finished this today. This was a last minute thing. So.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's been very challenging. A lot of mistakes happen, a lot of rage, a lot of just, I don't know, thoughts of burning my stuff. But they all survived, and they're all here in one piece, and hopefully they stay in one piece. At times it can be a bit challenging because I am a bit shy and reserved, but when I put on that mask, I feel like no one can see me, so I kind of tend to be let loose a bit, and I'll take on usually the persona of Harley, just the whole psychotic, bubbly personality she has. And the same with my other costumes. I try to take on the persona of the character just to give it a bit more life to it.
What kind of emotions have you been feeling leading up to this?
Anxious, tired, very tired, and really excited.
Little girls are gonna see you in this amazing outfit, and what kind of things are you going to say to them when they ask you, how you did it, how do they do it?
Well, the first thing I would say is with my armored costume, I'd want to give them a hug, but don't want to poke them. If they really want to get into the cosplaying and really make some amazing armored costumes, I would just give them the best advice I can and just tell them to keep, never give up, keep doing what they love, and eventually they'll find their niche and find something they truly love, that part of cosplay, and that will just continue to flourish, and they'll get better and better. And as long as you just keep doing what you do. Honestly, I'm just here to have fun and make new friends, and if anyone wants any advice or help with anything, I'm more than willing to try and help and do my best. I know it's a scary world, the whole cosplay and the whole convention, so it can be a bit overwhelming. But if anyone needs to just talk and try to figure out where they fit in to this crazy world, I do my best to help.
So many rooms.
Met a lot of people. Got to hang out with these crazy, beautiful ladies. Yeah, have a really good time.
My name is Rob Kalin. I am the majority owner of Comic Logic here. I've been in the industry for over 5 years, almost 6 years, and we've had Comic Logic for about 2.5 years. I got into the industry just because I was shopping at a local shop here in the area, in the Loudoun County area, and just loved the shop there, loved the guys there. Ended up working there for about 2-3 years, and then when that place closed down, I had an opportunity with my business partner Kevin that he gave me, and we had this place open in a matter of months, and here we are 2.5 years later, just rocking and rolling. I first came in contact with comics when I was probably in my early high school days. There was a local shop, Jolly Roger Comics, I remember this, which was in walking distance of where I live, and I used to always take my allowance money and walk up there and spend every cent that I had on the comics. I think even at 14 or 15 I started a subscription box at that shop. In college you read some comics. I think in college I was finally exposed to things like Watchmen, Mouse, and V for Vendetta. And then so they started expanding my comic horizons beyond just the superhero comics and the X-Men, Superman, Batman, and stuff like that. I had read comics for a while, but got back into it about a decade ago when I was living in South Florida, and have been just getting into more and more books and reading more and more ever since. And I was born 3 months to the day after Star Wars came out, so I feel intrinsically tied to Star Wars and a lot of pop culture that started in the late 70s, early 80s. So a lot of people, are out there doing jobs, and a lot of people are working doing different things, but it's very rare that people get to do something that they truly love and truly are passionate about. I am so fortunate to have had the opportunities that I've had. My life has taken, whatever turns everybody's had, but for me to have taken my pathway ended up here, being given this opportunity to really make my own shop and really being given the freedom to do what I can and the support to make my own shop about something that I love and that I'm passionate about. I mean, there's nothing better in the world. I think that you will be very hard-pressed to find people in industries where they say they 100% love what they do. And the comics, the stories, the art, the people, I love all of it, and I get to live it. And that's probably one of the best things in the world. I love seeing the kind of comic movie explosion and the comic TV show explosion, which is hopefully leading to, driving people more into comic book stores. It's great. I think one of the things that's amazing right now is while there's a lot of things out there to get people's attention, once people are able to come in stores, there's more comics for a wider variety of people now than there ever have been before in comic book stores. There are really comics for everyone, which I think is more true now today than it was in the past. Don't want to take anything away from the classics in the 70s and the 60s and the Silver Age and the Golden Age, but if we're going to be honest, a lot of those comics were written for a certain audience. Today, comics are written for everybody, whether you're gay, straight, black, white, Asian, it doesn't matter, poor, rich, whatever walk of life you come from, whatever experiences you've had, whatever you like or don't like, there's comics for you now. There's comics for everybody now, and they really are for everybody. So while I don't really consider myself a small town hero, and it's really nice to be considered as such, what I want to say is that for every one of me that you see around, there's 50, 60 others in cities, in each city across the country. There are hundreds of comic book stores, all small local businesses like me, small businesses trying to make it. We weren't the cool kids, now we are the cool kids. Let's keep everybody cool, let's introduce everybody to that, and let's make the comic industry one of the biggest, strongest things in our country, because there's so much escapism, so many great stories, and so many things that can really bring joy to you if you just take the time to read some cool comics.
You remembered him when we signed the comics too for the first time. We just stumbled into it.
What's your name?
I'm Tyrone. Oh, hold on. Because, I wasn't prepared. I should have known that I wasn't prepared. I guess I can just know this box is there.
I know from experience.
That's beautiful art.
Thank you.
Awesome. So it's just Tyrone like Madonna?
Tyrone. One name, like Adele.
Hold on, can you ask him that question again?
So it's Tyrone like Madonna?
Like Adele. Excuse me. Or Prince. I prefer Prince. So my name is Tyrone Selby. I am one of the creative directors of Sparkflow Studio. I am the writer of current title, Elements of Light. Hopefully I'll be making another title by 2018 All-Star Con, and we will also be releasing our newest animated short film, The Will of Monsters, hopefully soon. We are in pre-production phase of that. Very, very excited for different things.
An animated movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing.
Yep.
That's a huge accomplishment.
Yep. So the other creative director, my older brother Christopher Wade, is an animator, and I am a script writer. So we tag team for our indie company, Sparkflow Studios. It's a very, very big deal for, you know, comic book stores like Comic Logic to be in the community and be a part of independent comic creators like myself. Just because, like, we have such a hard time getting our word out there, but when you have the local comic book stores like Comic Logic behind your back supporting you and, you know, giving all the attention that, you know, independent creators deserve and the attention and the love, then it really means a lot for us as indie creators, because then we can actually reach a lot more people than we can do just by ourselves. So kudos to Comic Logic and any other comic book stores out there that are really reaching out to the community and helping the actual comic book creators fill that need, because, you know, we're the ones that can actually help publicize the store as well by saying, hey, look, my book is in the store, go to the store, check it out. I think just different representations in general, I won't even go as specific as ethnic representation, but just being representative to what you're passionate about in your comic books is a very, very big deal. Just making sure that, you know, it's not just one color of people or one sexuality of people or different things, just really broadening the spectrum so that any reader can pick it up and they have representation in your book is a very, very big deal. Writers, artists, please pay attention to that, because, you know, you want everyone to read your book and not just a specific group of people reading your book.
I will say that's one of the things that I'm most proud about our store, is that we have local artists who display works in here, local writers who bring in comics as well as prose novels they write in here. We have a whole local creators section in our shop, and there's so many wonderfully amazing and talented people out there who maybe just don't have the opportunities, wrong place, wrong time, they just didn't get the break that they were supposed to. And the fact that we can provide an outlet for those talented people and give them an opportunity, I mean, I'm very proud of that. I'm very, very proud of that. And I think that you know, we've been fortunate to have Tyrone be our first, and it's been such a great success story.
Right, I was the first indie creator here in the store.
So, you know, it's that great success is really, help push you, and I think help push us to give more opportunity to more local and small-time creators.
And I would say it's more than just, you know, because I walked in with a business mindset. It's like, hey, you know, I just started a comic book. You know, what is your consignment deal like? I'm willing to drop by. But it became a lot more of a relationship rather than just a business transaction. I would say for a lot of the comic book creators out there, whatever thing you're selling when you're trying to make a relationship with the business, make it a relationship with the people, not a relationship with the business, because then you get so much more in the long run. You get people on your side. I mean, we're Facebook friends, we talk all the time, and just we have each other's backs, and, you know, we say, share this.
We met through the shop and through the purchase of his comic book, but I mean, Tyrone and I are friends, and that's what it is. I mean, we became friends because of the business, but we are friends, and that's, you know, friends first, definitely. And it's very rewarding to now have a friend that I can support and sell his book and see him be successful and see him go on to do bigger and greater and other amazing things.
You know how bummed I was off my book over there?
It's so funny. Like, I walk over the counter and I'm like, there's a transaction. There's Kevin's books.
How's it going?
What's happening?
All is well. Spring, summer, fall. Spring, summer, fall.
Yeah, give me quarter.
June 15th.
Can I get quarter one, quarter two?
June 15th.
I'm hoping by
Winter is coming.
There you go. Here's what I'm saying.
June 14th.
I really like it. I like the atmosphere. I like the people running it clearly. I mean, you know, it's always great when you meet people that are, you know, like-minded, like yourself, that like to work on the same, you know, type of thing or whatever.
Tell me a little bit about how how did everything go for the last con?
Oh, it went great, man. I mean, we had probably the most amount of people we've ever had at any of our shows. So we're looking at doing 2 next year. We already got our first date, which is March 24th and 25th at the Hager Hall, same place you shot the documentary the last time. Got some guests rolling in. We got a DC Comics artist, Ken Hunt, Pet Cemetery's Miko Hughes, Fred the Hammer Williamson, who was in a lot of blaxploitation movies like Black
So
Caesar.
did you go after him because that's someone that you wanted to meet, or?
Oh no, I mean we.
How did you decide that? Did you come with the group or what?
Well, now we were partnered up with Comics World Comic Book Shop in Chambersburg, PA. Unfortunately, we couldn't shoot there because they're in a mall and the people are kind of picky about it or whatever. So, but yeah, no, we talked about it and we went over price points and these people seem like they would be good for the money we would have to put out for them. So. I think that this time we're trying to do it a little smarter this time, not trying to go so crazy with everything. So.
Did you make money at the last convention?
We broke even. We broke even, which is good. I mean, for the first show, I mean, you never usually make a whole lot of money your first time out. So I mean, that's cool. Actually, speaking of guests, we have Gurr from Invader Zim actually coming out or whatever. He'll be with us. The voice actor Ricky Simons is his name. So like I said, so that ought to be fun. I mean, a lot of people are into that cartoon. So. Should be good.
Cool. So, do you think that, did it help or hinder your reputation? How important is reputation too?
Oh, I mean, you got to keep on the right with people, and I think we still did a good job with that. I mean, like I said, the turnout was really good. The venue loved it, so they're letting us do 2 next year. They were really happy with it. So, and like I said, I mean, we're getting new people every day hitting us up about it. So that's the important thing. Is that we're people are still interested, people are still coming out, people are still really into it, and. As like I said, I know you talked to Kevin over there for All-Star Con, and we have a great crew of people now, great crew of volunteers, great crew of staff, who are very helpful to people. People feel secure, and they feel like they can talk to them, ask them anything, and they're very knowledgeable. So that's the main thing.
So when people watch this, what do you hope that they take away from all of this, or maybe from your life, or from your accomplishments or what you're trying to accomplish?
Just keep on keeping on. Don't give up. I mean, it's a hard road out there. I mean, especially if you're trying to start your own business. You try to start your own business, and it's all it's all about just keep it up, and learn. And the important thing is learn from your mistakes. That's what I mean, sometimes, we're not all perfect. We all make mistakes. But, the thing is, you got to learn from those mistakes and make it better the next time around. Hopefully you're able to do so and can actually, and I guess, and can, just like I said, just keep growing as a person, keep learning as a person, make sure you surround yourself with good people. And you can't go wrong, on this convention circuit. And always support your local con, because you never know when it's going to go away. Unfortunately.
Hey, what's up? We're also working on a little con documentary. Hey, how you guys wouldn't mind maybe a quick interview?
So many good comics here, I tell you. I was going to say, wow, dastardly and Muttley as humans. This ought to be really interesting. Is that Garth Ennis that did that? Crazy. That's awesome. If you want to get involved in this, don't get discouraged. Don't give up. That's the words of wisdom here from Forest State Comic Con. Is if you believe in yourself, hopefully others will believe in you too, and you can do all this just the same as we all did. So you have to. Sometimes you have to work to get to where you are. So so it's hard, but you make it work because you have to. You got to work hard to follow your dreams. So if you're not going to put the work into it, no one else is going to put the work into it. And if you don't put the work into it, you're probably going to fail. So you gotta keep on pushing. A lot of sleepless nights, a lot of long days, but it's all worth it when you see the results. And then I want to thank everybody that's ever supported Forest State Comic Con in any way possible. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys for supporting the small town kid's dream.
lot of people.
Making your rounds now?
Yeah, making my rounds. Seeing what everyone's up to.
Have you had a chance to talk to any of the celebrities yet?
Not yet. Kind of intimidated.
Kind of intimidated?
Yeah. I don't know. Might eat me or something. I don't know.
Were you a Power Rangers fan?
I mean, I used to watch the original ones, but and I like the new movie, but it's been so long since I've kept up with it.
I mean, R2-D2. Sorry. I keep getting my stuff.
Drink up,
I'm
baby,
sorry.
stay up all night. The things you do, the motivation, the potential you'll be, you'll never see the promises you made. Drink up with me now and forget all about
I think that's kind of the side that people don't see too much of.
Right.
You know, in this social media world, which you were just talking about, I think you have these windows into these beautiful glossy photos, you know, of finished products of cosplayers. And you're only seeing the end product. You're not seeing who that person is behind that mask.
Right.
You're not seeing how much they have to
Every
overcome.
day,
So,
all the time, the financial.
yeah, and you're not seeing like what they had to overcome to even be confident enough to pursue something.
Right.
So I think for myself, I really find it important to be transparent.
GoPro, right? Yeah, GoPro. You gotta have that O at the end, you know? That's pretty cool, man. And the little microphones too. You get left or right and left.
like you the best. Keep the things you forgot. The people you've been before that you don't want around anymore, and they push, shove, and they bend to your will. I'll keep them still.